Rama Bhakti Samrajam 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 Manavula Kavenu Rama Bhakti Samrajam Manavula Kavenu Rama Bhakti
Hello and welcome back to Raaga Rasika. This is a podcast program that explores the world of Carnatic music. Joining me from Chennai, India is Vidya Subramanian. As I mentioned in my brief note to all of you, Vidya recently relocated from Albany, New York to Chennai, India. Please join me in wishing Vidya and her family all the best as she settles down in Chennai. Vidya, I hope your move went well and you're settling down fine.
The move has gone pretty well, Devesh. Thanks for your wishes. We are settling down in Chennai, and I would like to thank the listeners for their patience as we took a short break from Raaga Rasika over the past couple of months. I would also like to reiterate that Devesh and I remain committed to Raaga Rasika, and we look forward to continuing this musical journey with all of you.
Thank you so much, Vidya. Now let's get on with our program. Over the course of several episodes in the past, we have introduced several Carnatic music terms to you and discussed their definitions and what they mean. Today, we want to introduce one more such term, and this is the concept of Kalpanaswarams. So Vidya, could you tell us a little bit more about this term, Kalpanaswaram?
As we have mentioned in previous Raaga Rasika episodes, improvisational aspects form a very important and salient part of a Carnatic music concert. One such type of improvisation is the performance of Kalpanaswarams. Kalpana means creativity or imagination, and swarams refers to the rendition of solfa notes. Kalpanaswarams are performed during the rendition of a composition. They may be appended to the opening line or to any line of lyric in between that the performer considers as best suited for the rendition of Kalpanaswarams. And therefore, there are several factors that a musician keeps in mind while performing Kalpanaswarams. One such factor that a musician needs to keep in mind is the placement of the composition for which he is performing the Kalpanaswarams in the concert. For example, very often if the composition falls fairly early on into the program, the Kalpanaswaram rendition is usually kept quite brief to make sure that the concert gathers momentum. On the other hand, if the Kalpanaswarams are performed for the main piece in the concert, the rendition can be very expansive and can be done in multiple speeds with many variations in terms of the length of each round of Kalpanaswaram, and also sometimes rhythmic calculations which can range from simple to complex may be incorporated into the Kalpanaswarams.
Vidya, as you talk about Kalpanaswarams and the highly improvisational aspect of this concept, it occurs to me that we have talked about another improvisational aspect in Carnatic music, which is the concept of alapanas. How do Kalpanaswarams compare and contrast with alapanas?
That's a very interesting question, Devesh. There are a number of important similarities between alapana and Kalpanaswaram. Number one, both of them have to be performed keeping in mind Carnatic music grammar and conventions. Both of them require a good deal of mastery over the fundamentals of Carnatic music and can only be performed by musicians who have attained a high level of proficiency and who have been exposed to numerous compositions across many ragas. Coming to differences, there are several of which I would like to highlight some fundamental differences today. The first thing is that when you hear the alapana, you're not going to hear the swarams being sung explicitly. So alapana is done more as a free-flowing exercise where you hear the basic akaram or a sound interspersed with some rhythmic syllables like ta, da, ri, na, na. And as the musician performs, the swarams flow as an undercurrent, but they are not explicitly sung. On the other hand, in Kalpanaswarams, you're actually going to hear musicians say out the swarams like sari, gama, pada, ni. So that is the first difference I would like to highlight. Moving on, Kalpanaswarams have an explicit rhythmic or tala component to them, and they are performed in cycles or rounds. In that I mean, after each round of Kalpanaswaram, the musician goes back to the line of lyric for which the Kalpanaswarams are being performed. On the other hand, alapana does not have a specific tala component. Very often you will hear slow phrases and then fast phrases being sung during the alapana or being played on the instrument during the alapana. But the alapana itself is not set to any particular tala. And also, the alapana is typically performed in one long stretch by the lead musician, after which the accompanying musician, like the violinist, gets to perform his or her version of the alapana. In the case of Kalpanaswaram, this is not the case, as the vocalist and violinist typically take turns performing the Kalpanaswaram, with the main performer taking the lead in this case as well. Yet another important difference that I would like to highlight is that the alapana precedes the performance of the composition, or in the case of the ragam tanam pallavi, precedes the performance of the tanam, which is yet another type of improvisation. On the other hand, the Kalpanaswaram is woven into the performance of a composition and may be performed during the performance of the song itself, or may be performed after the performance of the song, but essentially it is performed as a part of the composition's performance itself.
Vidya, can you share a couple of examples of Kalpanaswarams and maybe one example of an alapana so that we can really understand the differences between the two?
I'm first going to illustrate a brief alapana in the Raaga Kamboji. In this Ragam Kamboji, I'm going to sing the opening segment or Pallavi from a well-known Muthuswami Dikshitar composition, Marakata Vallim Manasa Smarami. Following the Pallavi rendition, I'm going to sing Kalpanaswarams in first the slow speed and then the fast speed. Marakata Vallim Manasa Smarami. Marakata Vallim Manasa Smarami.
Deva Palini Madana Janakadi Deva Palini Mara Kata Valli Dasa Sa Ni Da Pa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Mara Kata Dari Sa Ni Da Pa Pa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Pa Ni Da Pa Ma Pa Da Mara Kata Dasari Ga Sa 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 Ni Da Pa Da Da Pa Da Ma Ga Ri Sa Sa Pa Da Ga Ri Sa Pa Da Sa Ri Ga Sa Ni Da Ma Pa Da Pa Ma Ga Sa Ri Ga Ma Ra Ka Ta Valli Pada sa 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 ni da pada sa sa ni da pa ma ga sa sa ri ga ma ra ka ta pada sa ri ga ma ga ri sa sa ni da pada sa sa ni da pa da ri 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 sa ni da pa pada ga ga ri ga ma ga ri sa ni da ma ra ka ta sa 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 ni pada sa 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 ni da pada sa ri sa sa ni da pada sa ri ga ma ga ri sa sa ni da pa 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 da ma ga ri ri sa ni da pa pa da ga ri ri sa ni da pa pa da ri sa ni da pa ma ga pa da sa ga ri ga ri sa ni da ri sa ni da pa da pa ni da ma pa da ma ra ka ta valli manasa smarami.
So, Vidya, before we wrap up this episode, I did have a question to ask you as I was listening to your snippet with Kalpanaswarams. As you were rendering these Kalpanaswarams, in each round, sometimes you ended the Kalpanaswaram by just using the first two syllables of the composition name, as in Mara, and sometimes you used the entire word. So could you share with us a little more about what was actually happening there?
Devesh, I'm really glad you asked that question because one important aspect of Kalpanaswaram singing is that not all Kalpanaswarams are equal in duration. If you were to go back and listen to that Kalpanaswaram rendition that I just did, you will notice that each round of Kalpanaswaram gets progressively longer when compared to the previous round. And this is more of a convention than a hard and fast rule. So to answer your question, the first few rounds of Kalpanaswarams will take up only like quarter or half a cycle or avartanam of the tala. So I would have more room to say more of the lyric. So I might have said Marakata Valli for the first couple of Kalpanaswaram rounds. As the Kalpanaswarams get longer, musicians tend to use up more of the tala cycle in the Kalpanaswaram rendition itself. So they often truncate the word, and I might have said, for example, Marakata, and then it launched into the Kalpanaswaram. So this has more to do with the convention of singing progressively longer Kalpanaswarams. And again, as the Kalpanaswarams get lengthier and they spill into multiple cycles of the tala, I might again come back to saying the whole word Marakata Valli, because the Kalpanaswaram that I will be singing will likely be 2 or 3 cycles of tala long, and therefore I might take the time to give myself some breathing space before I launch into the next round of Kalpanaswarams.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Vidya, for that explanation. Let's pause here and pick up next time when Vidya and I will share with you a few snippets of Kalpanaswarams rendered by the stalwart musician Sri G. N. Balasubramanian. Hope you join us for that episode. To learn more about Vidya, visit her online vidyasubramanian.com. Write to us at www.raagarasika.com. Thank you and goodbye.
Bhakti